It's the Ball Boys. We are back. Dave's here.
I'm here.
I'm Eddie.
He's Eddie. I'm Dave.
We're going to talk some hoops today, and we're going to do an old school episode. Something we haven't done in a while, Dad, where we're just kind of picking three teams, and we're going to talk about them. Three teams that are interesting right now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to kick things off with a team that I don't know if we've ever talked about, honestly. The Detroit Pistons.
I know.
Everybody's darling right now.
Yeah.
Heading into tonight, they do play Denver tonight, so we'll see what happens there, but they've won 8 straight games, Dad.
They're 33 and 26. I mean, that's crazy.
They're what?
They're 33 and 26. They're 33 and 26. That's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, like they're a surprise team for me, Eddie, in the East, anyways. And
they're a game out of the 4th seed.
I know they're only a game behind Indiana. Like,
yeah, and 14th in offense, 11th in defense. Middle of the pack statistically, but you could just see over the last month something's going on here, and their confidence is rising with every game. And something's happening. They have a true star player in Cade Cunningham.
I was going to say he's the main reason, man.
But he's not the only reason. But he's the main one. He's been outstanding. Do you want to hear some stats on Cade?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull him up here. I just had him. He's at 25.5 per game, 9.5 assists, 6 boards. 45% from the field, 36% from 3, 85% from the line. Like those are, he's basically a 25 and 10 with 6 boards. I mean,
that's crazy.
Like those are LeBron numbers, man. And like prime LeBron numbers. And he's carrying this team.
Yeah. And Jalen Duren is having a great season, man.
I was going to say that. Jalen Duren, they got some other nice pieces. Jalen Duren he's become, I think we talked about this the other day, kind of like a mini Bam. Yeah, just a high motor guy, good
high motor guy, block shots, rebounds, runs the floor, and sets great screens.
Pick and roll threat.
He's doing it all.
Yeah, so he's been great. They have the other Thompson twin, who's not as good, but he's still really good. Asar.
Yep.
No. Yes.
I always get Amon's on Houston, right?
Amen is on Houston.
Yeah,
and then Asar is the Detroit one.
Yeah.
Just an aside, are they the best twins we've ever had in the NBA?
Thompson twins? Oh, geez. I'll
give you a couple others. We've had the Martin twins, Caleb and Cody.
Oh yeah, okay.
The Morris twins.
Yeah.
Marcus and Markieff. Both kind of weirdly had a few moments on good teams. I couldn't tell you which one of those guys is which.
Wasn't there somebody like weren't there Williams twins or something
the Lopez twins was going to be my pick. Brooke and Robin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because, I think those guys are probably my favorites. And then the Champennies, Justin and Julian Champagny, who I think Justin had a cup of coffee on the Toronto Raptors. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would say the Thompson twins are the best of that bunch.
I would still give it to the Lopez twins because Brooke has actually he's had a really good career.
But that's only one half of the twins, so
but he's still the best player on that list. But I do think the Thompson twins have a chance to take the mantle. Anyway, but here going back to the Pistons here, we mentioned the young talent, Asar, Jalen Duren, obviously Cade. Jaden Ivey got hurt too. He's not even playing, and that's a bummer because he's a nice young player too. He blew out his knee, so he's gone for the year. But they've done a really smart thing where they've supplemented the young talent with some really nice veterans.
Yeah, like Tobias Harris.
Exactly. Tobias Harris. Sure, make your jokes, but you know what? Look. The guy is a professional basketball player that's been on good teams, and sometimes you need guys like that. He gives them a calming presence on offense. He's played in big games.
Sometimes you need mediocre players from good teams.
Look though, like Malik Beasley, another guy that has bounced around, but he's become one of the most reliable 3-point shooter 3-and-D guys in the league. I mean, the dude. Did you see the other night when they beat Boston?
Yeah,
he had 27 points off the bench.
Yeah, they beat him by 20.
Yeah, they kicked Boston's ass. And Malik Beasley went nuts. And, Tim Hardaway, another guy that's been in the finals, been in big games, right? Beef Stew is on this team. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. Sometimes I don't understand why teams get so obsessed with timelines, right? It's my best player's 22, so I can't have anybody on the roster that's over 25. the Spurs, same thing. You bring in Chris Paul, you bring in Harrison Barnes. Like sometimes you need to have adults in the locker room to
Yeah.
teach these guys how to not only how to win on the court, but like how to conduct yourself on the road,
Well, Garrett
how to
Temple
deal
on
with
the Raptors is
money.
an example of that.
Sorry?
Garrett Temple on the Raptors is an example of that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not enough. Like, I'm talking like guys in the rotation, guys that like
Yeah, yeah.
actually like,
You're right.
but like I said, like, Garrett Temple is an example of that. But yeah, like just you need, showing guys how to invest their money, right?
Yeah.
Like how to handle women and
Hmm.
groupies, like all these little things that I mean, okay. When has a young team with everybody under 25 been good? Can you remember a team that like made the finals? Maybe OKC in 2012 was the only example.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually, I mean, like when you have a team like this where it's like, oh yeah, we got all these young guys and stuff. It's like, yeah, they're no shit, they're bad because look at Houston, perfect
Yeah.
example. What did they do? They went and spent a lot of money on Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks and Steven
Hmm.
Adams, like adults in the locker room,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's really helped the Pistons accelerate their timeline.
Yeah. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. And good for them because that franchise has stunk for a long time, and no, it's good to see them competitive again.
they've been horrible.
Yeah,
Like they've been in purgatory for 15 years.
more than that.
20 years,
Yeah,
honestly. I mean, Blake had one great season there and they made the playoffs, but other than that, it's been just crap after crap for years. Like they haven't been good since the Chauncey, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, Rashid days,
yeah,
which
that's
was
right.
like that was over in like '07.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 20 years since the Pistons were a relevant NBA franchise. And um I'm curious. What do you think their ceiling is in the playoffs? I mean, I can't believe we're having
I
this
was just about to
discussion,
ask
but
you that. Hey, listen, they're in the fifth spot, right? So
they're
they
sixth.
play. Oh, they're sixth.
Oh, I think they're tied for fifth with
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Okay, so let's say they come in the sixth spot. So they play the third. So they play the Knicks. Ooh,
That'd
that's
be
going to
fun.
be that would be an interesting series, Eddie. They'd win 2 games for sure against the Knicks. I think that
What if they're
series.
fifth and they play Indiana?
I think they could beat Indiana.
I do too.
I don't think they could beat the Knicks, but I think they could beat Indiana
Or Milwaukee.
or Milwaukee.
I do too. I legitimately think that if they're the 5 seed, let's say, and it's a 4-5 with Indiana, like I don't know, man. Like, the Pistons might win that series. Even the
Yeah,
Knicks, like you said, I agree. I think two. I think that would go 6.
they'd give
Like
they'd give the Knicks problems for sure.
yeah, yeah. Like you said, 6 games, like you said, and they're going to be super happy to be there. Their fans are going to be super fired up because
Yep.
it's been so long. And when the team's good, Detroit, it's a good sports town.
Yep.
I don't know, man. And like I said, they got Cade, who's not afraid, man. And
He's probably going to make NBA all NBA this year. I would
he
say.
might. I was actually going to ask that because I was going through it, and the guards, right? Like Brunson and Shea for sure
Yeah.
on the first team.
Yeah.
Oh no, I would probably say Mitchell and Shea on the first team, and then Brunson on the second team. So that's 3 spots right there. So there's 3 guards left.
Yeah. He might
Uh,
take it. I mean, he's having a hell of a year. I mean, the numbers he quoted at the beginning of the show, like they're pretty damn good.
they are pretty damn good. Kyrie has had a really good season as a
Mhm.
point guard. I'm just trying to think which point guards have been good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, he might be an All NBA guy
Yeah.
if they keep winning.
I mean, I love Dyson Daniels, but I don't think he's as
Oh
good.
come on, Tyson Daniels.
Hey, I like.
Well, good for you. Yeah,
I
no, the
have to.
Pistons.
He's on my fantasy team.
The Pistons, they're fun. They're fun. All right, let's talk about your beloved Los Angeles Lakers here, who we've been talking about quite a bit. Obviously, the Luka trade, and they won again last night. Again, they play the Clippers tonight, so we'll see what happens in that game. But it's kind of working, man. LeBron looks invigorated. They're playing
Yep.
defense. Their rotation seems to make sense. I don't know if Jackson Hayes is going to hold up on the interior come playoff time, but it's working. And JJ's a pig in shit right now because he's got 2 savants offensively. But what's interesting? LeBron has kind of taken a back seat and has deferred.
I saw. I was watching the game last night. In the first half, LeBron was kind of holding back, taking a back seat, and Luka was doing his thing. And did you see that pass that he did? Luka did. Oh my God!
Full court one?
He just out of nowhere over the behind his head.
Oh, the over. Oh,
And
oh, oh,
I
yes,
found,
yes,
found
over the
Jackson
head
Hayes,
one.
I think, in the middle.
Yeah, the over. I thought you were talking about the cross court one
Oh, I mean,
where he just got the rebound and just chucked it down
well,
LeBron.
there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
like it's kind of similar to what LeBron did in his first year in Miami with Wade, right? Where Wade was still a top three player, and LeBron said, like, "It's your team. I'm just gonna run and be like, a wing, a wing, basically."
yeah.
And it's just work. And here's the scary thing: like they're winning games, and Luka's not even playing well. Like
No,
he hasn't even shot the ball well yet because he's still out of shape.
but I mean, hey, he got like what? I don't know, 20 something, and like he almost had a triple double, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but he's not shooting the ball well. Like
No,
like last night he was. I'm pulling up now. 6 for 20 from the field, 1 for 3, 1 for 9 from three. So like, yeah, he's not even in rhythm yet. Like he was 1 for 9 from the field last night. I think he was like 1 for 9 from three, 6 for 20 from the field. Like he's not even shooting the ball well. And
right.
the fact that they're still playing well and winning games, Dorian Finney-Smith and Rui is kind of their closing lineup, really.
Yeah,
That's who they're closing games with. And it's a weird team. They've got a ton of size. They don't really have a center. They don't really
no.
have a point guard. So it's just a strange team, but it's working, man. And it's pretty exciting from a Lakers fan. You must be just ecstatic.
Oh my God, it's so much fun to watch this team play now. Like with Luka on the team, like again, like I keep thinking this is still they're still working it out. Luka's still getting in shape, so
Totally.
they're not there totally there yet. And like you say, Jackson Hayes, I don't think is the guy that will be able to bring down Jokic or Towns or whoever he plays, but. All that stuff aside, I'm thinking about the next 10 years and for this franchise, and to see where they are with Luca now after a couple of games. Oh my God, the possibilities that he are like this could be a really great team in a couple of
Totally.
years.
They're only a game and a half out of the 2 seed right now. Like, what's their ceiling?
Again, I think they're kind of in the 2 or 3 seed. I don't think they're going to get the number 1 spot, mainly because of what we just said.
Oh,
They don't.
they're not getting the number 1 seed. They're like 10 games back. OKC so far they've already locked that up. I'm talking about like winning a title though. I don't give a shit about the number 1 seed.
Right. I don't think they're going to win a title this year. And for the reason that we just talked about, they don't have a center, and you need somebody in the middle. You just have to.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think their destiny would be either a second round exit.
Well, like lose it like with the year they lost to Denver in the Western Finals.
In the
I could
conference
see
finals.
them making that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the conference finals. I could see them going that far.
But I mean, like, look, man, like, I'll be honest, if it's like Lakers OKC in the Western Conference Finals, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
I might pick the Lakers in that series. Like, I don't know. Like, they're
Yeah.
really fucking talented, and like, the playoffs is different. And here's the thing that scares me about OKC, and this might be a little unfair because they really are like from a stats standpoint, like they are so dominant this year. Their plus minus is like so much higher than anybody else's. Their defense is dominant, straight up dominant.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I worry about, and Shea is a superstar.
Yeah.
But similar to kind of what happened in Team Canada and what happened last year when they lost in the playoffs to Dallas, when teams really sell out, and I mean sell out on Shea, like they're going to in the playoffs,
Yeah.
who's that second guy that you turn to?
Jalen
And
Williams.
well, I'm not sure, but I'm saying like that's my only question. Is Jalen Williams going to be able to step up when we're talking about like hitting a big shot or having a big quarter when they need it, like in the finals or in the conference finals?
Yeah, I think he will. He's had a great year, Eddie. I mean, he's been fantastic this year.
Wasn't good in the playoffs last year, just saying. So I understand. Like, look, I get it. And I mean, the other thing, could Chet be that guy when he's healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet. And
Right.
the playoffs are a different animal, especially when you go that deep, Dad. Like you saw it. Like basically, when it comes down to the finals, like it's like your bench shrinks to. It's like, all right, who are my best 6 guys?
Right.
And not only that, it's like the offense. It's like it's the ball. Like in the fourth quarter, the ball is in. It's 2 guys that have the ball. That is making all the decisions, and then maybe a third guy will make a play once in a while. But like you're not spreading it out. Like it's you need your best players to step up. And can Jalen Williams be that guy, that true number 2, that Brown to Jason Tatum, because you can't just be a one man heliocentric. Oh, sorry.
I think he could. And actually, he's a really good matchup for Tatum.
Yeah, but I'm not talking. I'm not talking about like matching up with the Celtics. I'm talking about like can Jaylen Brown, like, that on court relationship, like, can he step up and be that true number two guy when they need him to? And I'm not saying he can't, but I will say this: like Shea has the ball in his hands more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
He takes a shitload of shots. His usage rate is the highest in the NBA. Like, it's a very heliocentric offense, and we've seen teams like this. Like, pick one, like the James Harden Rockets, for example,
Right.
where it's like, yeah, it looks great in the regular season, but then in the playoffs, like, when they're sending three guys on James, there's nobody else to go to, and
Right.
look, OKC's the best team in the league right now, but could the Lakers beat him in a series? Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll be that would be an interesting matchup for sure. For sure.
I can't believe we're here. Like, I just can't believe this is where we are with this Lakers team, where we're talking
I know.
about, like, could they win a championship? I think they legitimately could win a championship.
I'd like to believe that. I don't. Again, I think the reason why they wouldn't do that is because they're lacking a big man, and to me that's the difference. If they could get a quality big guy like Sengun on Houston or whoever, like they'd kick ass.
Yeah, but like, I love when you do this. You come up with it's like when you're talking, you have to name a guy that they could realistically get. You know what I mean? Like, you know what they need? They need a Wembanyama. You know, it's like you always do this.
No, the Lakers look pretty good this year, and like I say, they're working it out. Luka's going to get healthy, get back in shape eventually. And again, this is not about this year. If whatever happens this year is gravy, as far as I'm concerned. It's all about building the team for the next decade.
I agree. But I also think that they could win a title. You know who's not going to win the title? The Philadelphia 76ers, who just announced today that Joel Embiid is out for the season. He's done. So they're packing it in.
Oh. I knew they were thinking of doing that. I didn't know they were going to do it today, but
I mean, if you watched him play, it's just gross. He's falling down and he looks miserable, and he looks like a statue out there, Dad. He really does.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking statue. And Philly is the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're 20-38. They're 2.5 games better than the Toronto Raptors. And it's just embarrassing. Like, this team, Pete, they were talking about when they spent the money on Paul George. And here's the thing, like, now. Oh, man. Now they're paying Paul George $50 million a season for the next 4 years. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Hey, I've never been a
fucked.
Paul George fan. You know that. So, I mean, good on you, Philly.
They're fucked.
They're fucked. They're not only fucked for this year, they're fucked for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, that team is shitty. I love Maxey, but come on.
Even Maxey's been bad this year because he's been like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna have to shoot 25 times a night.
Yeah. I mean, Embiid. Listen, what he was MVP. What, 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
Something like that. Like 2 years ago.
2 years removed from an MVP. I mean, to see him at this stage, like where he is in terms of his career, like, and what physically he's capable of doing, it's horrible. We've seen it, like, with big guys, when it goes, like, with guys, he's a massive human being, and when it goes fast, it goes ankles
fast,
or their feet.
Once the lower body stuff goes, like that's it, man. Like, it happened to Bill Walton. Happened to Shaq. I mean, Shaq played a couple years as a bum, but like when it was over, it was over.
Yeah.
I mean, Kareem, when he was kind of in the late 80s, like, he was a statue by then, and like it was older Kareem. And this is Yao, like any massive center that has played a lot of minutes and had a lot of injuries, like, this kind of happens. And once it goes, it's not coming back. Like, it's over. And he's had a great career, statistics wise. Probably will be a Hall of Famer. But like,
he's got an Olympic gold medal
and an MVP.
And an MVP. I think 2 MVPs.
No, it's just one. He has one. But I mean, if you win an MVP, like, you're a Hall of Famer. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, it's unfortunate because, like, when he was right a couple of years, like, he won the MVP for a reason. He was a dominant player.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'll ever be that good again. I have my doubts.
I
And
don't even know if I mean. So my question to you is, what does Philly do? Where does Philly go from here? Like,
oh well, we're gonna get there because their draft pick is top 6 protected. So
geez.
basically, if they have the 7th pick, then the pick goes to, I believe, the Brooklyn Nets. Right now, as it stands, they
Is that
have
because of the Simmons trade?
no, it's because of the James Harden trade.
Oh, the Harden trade. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, Washington, Charlotte, Toronto, Utah, and New Orleans are worse than them. So right now, they would have the 6th best odds. So it's going to be close, man. If one team jumps them, then they lose their pick, and that would be like the ultimate, like, oh my god, disaster if
Yeah.
they miss the playoffs and don't keep their first round pick.
Yeah.
But that's why they shut Embiid down, because they're like, well, shit. Now it's like,
Now we got to go for that.
now we got to tank a palooza. Like, they're they're like, shit. Oh, the only beacon of hope right now is keeping that pick. That's it. That's the only thing that they can salvage from this season.
Yeah. And yeah,
It will.
crazy.
What do they do about Nick Nurse? I mean, honestly, like, Nick's probably like, make my day. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nick's fine for money, but this is look. I was really early in on the "Are we sure Nick Nurse is a good coach?" thing, and his track record since the title has not been great.
Nope.
He had one great season, 2 great seasons, because the year
great
after the
seasons.
title was amazing. But then the Tampa year was an absolute mess for everybody involved, and then the year after was a decent year because they got Scotty, they made the playoffs, and then the year after that was a total disaster. And the Philly thing has pretty much been a disaster since he got hired 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is the worst disaster of anybody in the league. Like, in terms of like expectations to where they ended up, Philly's by far the most disappointing team in the NBA.
Yes, I would say so.
Do you think the fans even care? Or do you think they're so happy about the Super Bowl that they're like,
Well, I think they care. I mean, Philly fans care about all their teams.
they do, but they're just on such a high right now. Because like,
because the Eagles and stuff.
it's
but,
it's an Eagles town. They love the Sixers, but it's an Eagles town.
oh yeah, it's an Eagles fan.
So that's kind of saved them a little bit, because Philly fans are in a good mood these days. But my God, what a disaster! I mean,
It's a complete disaster.
we like, you have seasons like this where where it's like you're supposed to be good, and then like by December it's like, oh no, like like this, and then you're just stuck with the season for the rest of the
Well, I
year.
mean, what, Philly started what? Oh, and like 1-13 or something.
They
like
were,
that?
I think they were like 2-10, something like that.
Something like that. I mean,
Because Paul George was hurt and
first
Embiid
10
was
games.
hurt.
Like if you go 2-10, you're done. You're done for the season. That's it. Your season's over.
Yeah,
Your season's over.
yeah.
I mean, they've been digging a hole out of trying to get out of that hole from day one, and
They've only been digging it deeper.
I know
Keep digging.
they've been done since the first game of the year. Like I'm telling you, that team is really fucked up.
Like, there's not a lot of teams in sports I hate more than the Philadelphia 76ers. They're not my most hated team, but they're definitely in the top 5.
Yeah,
I would go the Clippers,
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
Celtics,
See,
Philly.
the Celtics should be on my list on that because I'm a diehard Lakers fan, but
And you're a Raptors fan.
but I do have great respect for that franchise.
Oh, fuck it. I don't respect them.
I do. So the Celtics, for me, my most hated teams would be the Clippers, the Sixers, the Nets,
The Bucks. I hate the Bucks.
the Bucks.
Pretty
And
much any team that's had the Raptors have placed in the had tough series against in the playoffs, which is like Philly. We've had some dogfights. Milwaukee,
Yeah.
we've had some dogfights. So Cleveland. Oh my God, I hate Cleveland. We haven't.
Cleveland.
By the way, Cleveland they're on our list. We're gonna talk about Cleveland next week.
Yeah.
Because
we have to because they're the second best team in the league, Eddie.
we have talked about them, but I don't think we've given them enough love. So like they're the best team in the Eastern Conference.
They're the
And
best team in the conference, and they may be the best team in the whole league. I mean, OKC is fantastic, but Cleveland is a complete team.
I agree. Paul George's contract. Want to hear the numbers?
Yeah,
4 years, $211 million.
right down the shitter.
52 million average salary. He's signed until the 27-28 year, so he won't be a free agent until Donald Trump is out of office. And in that year, in his last year, he's going to be making $56.5 million, and he's going to be 37 years old. Like, he's 34 right now, and it's already over.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the biggest albatross contract in the league. And what do you do? Like, what do they do? Like, nobody's trading for him.
No.
They're fucked. They're stuck
fucked.
with the guy. They're going to be paying
They're
him $56 million in 4 years.
I know. That's crazy.
no.
It's crazy. Hey, you know what trade actually has worked out is Jimmy Butler on Golden State. That team is rejuvenated, and he's having a great couple of games. So
Also on our list. Also on our list.
For 56 last night.
Steph, yep. Let's save Golden State because again, that's another team on our list that we are. Sorry.
Steph went for 56 last night. That team's playing better. I don't think they're a playoff team, and I don't think there will be. But it's interesting to see how Jimmy has fit in.
Save your Golden State talk because that's another one that is on our list.
Yeah.
Because no. It's a great point because it's worked out so far, and Jimmy, I mean, he got his way, man. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's exactly what they've needed. So, and yeah, that Steph performance last night was fucking crazy. 56 points. Now, the thing about Steph though, it's like I am seeing some cracks in the armor. He was brilliant last night, no doubt about it. But like, you could tell he's kind of just taken just a ever so slight of a step back. That's why they needed to go get Jimmy because he can't carry a team, I think, to a title anymore at his age and this point in his career. But yeah, Golden State, it's on our list. Another interesting team in the West. I mean, the whole hierarchy of the West has completely been blown up because 2 months ago we were talking about Houston as the second best team. And like, I mean, honestly, like, even though they're the 5 seed, I think Golden State's probably like may have jumped Houston and possibly Memphis, in my opinion. Like, to me, the 3 best teams in the West are OKC, Denver, and the Lakers.
Yeah. And I still am high on the Grizz though. The Grizzlies are really good, and they're playing great ball, man. So
they strike me as a regular season team though.
Maybe
because
they have to show me something in the playoffs. You're right.
It's not that. It's like, you remember the bench mob Raptor teams where it was like, oh, this is great. They're 10 deep and they move the ball and they play as a team, and it's just they come at you in waves, and it was like a great regular season, and then like in the playoffs it just doesn't quite work the same way when you're built that way.
Because as he said earlier, like you go for your top 6 players, and that's
rotations shrink and the whole thing, right? And then all of a sudden it's like when the bench unit comes in, right? Even if you still stick to your game plan and play the bench guys, the other team's bench guys aren't coming in. So now all of a sudden these bench guys that were so good all year, it's like they're not as good when they're playing starters now, right? So I'm not like, you're right. Memphis is good. I just. Teams like this, we've seen it where it's like, yeah, they're fun. They have great regular seasons, but Jaw doesn't play enough. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the whole 10 deep thing, it tends to, teams like that don't have a good track record come playoff time. So we'll see with them, but
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Any other thoughts? Paul George, I can't believe that contract. I was trying to think of the worst contracts we've seen like ever. In the last,
Andrea Bargnani.
But I mean, like, that was like, I'm talking like an old star signs a big deal and it just goes south really quickly.
I'll tell you, Karl Malone.
On the Lakers. That's a good one. Hito Turkoglu signing with Toronto is one of my all-time favorites.
Turkoglu.
4 years, $72 million, which at the time was like a big money contract. And it almost instantly, it was like, we got to get this guy out of here. Trying to think.
Blew it all on cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarettes and Turkish Turkish whatever vodka. Turkish vodka. Well, yeah.
Opium dens.
Opium den. You remember when he called in sick? He didn't play. He was sick, and then he was like smoking with his Turkish buddies at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Ball. I have nothing else to say. Fuck me. All right. Let's wrap this up. But yeah, I mean, like, there's been some bad ones. Like, I had a couple, but they're racking my brain. But yeah, Paul George is one of the worst signings in recent memory, for sure.
And the Sixers team is fucked. Couldn't happen to another team, a better team.
Yeah. All right, Dad. I'll see you next week.